Stephanie was like, hey, can you share your story? And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. So scary, but then I remembered that it was, when I was a newer coach, sitting at Super Saturday, sitting at Summit. It was stories like this that I heard that made me know that I could do this. So I'm like, okay, I gotta suck it up, get up here, but I'm scared. But anyway, so my story, I'm a wife. I'm married to this cute guy right here for almost 9 years, and we have 2 kids, a little girl who's 7 and a little boy whose birthday is today. He's 4. We celebrated yesterday though, so he has no idea. We're like, your birthday's, yeah, it's not today, but coach life. But okay, so we got married pretty young. I was found out 3 months into that marriage that I was pregnant. It wasn't exactly what we planned, but it's obviously what God had planned for us. So we had no choice. My husband was actually playing professional baseball at this time, and so I kind of put everything that I was going to do on hold as far as my career to go support him living his dream of playing professional baseball. And not many people really know the insides of that. It's not the easiest life. It's actually pretty darn hard. It's not very glamorous like some may think. And it kind of got to the point where we were paying to play. We weren't really having any income come in on the last season of his career. And it was really hard. I mean, we had a mortgage to pay, and we had rent where he was playing in Mobile, Alabama, so random. And I didn't even go, we couldn't even afford me to go live with him that season, which was hard. I mean, we had a child, and it's no way to live with your family apart. And we didn't have a backup plan, because when you're playing baseball, that's pretty much your life. It's almost the whole year. But he called me one day and he was like, I'm done, I'm coming home, I'm retiring, I'm hanging it up, we can't do this anymore. No income coming in, a little hard. So he got back we are from Oregon, so he got back and we were here, and we were kind of like, okay, now what? We were basically running out of everything that we had saved. And he got 5 jobs, I don't even know. I mean, he's a workhorse, and he would do anything, and he found anything he could find, but it wasn't even enough. It was hard to make ends meet. And so we actually found out I was pregnant again. It's perfect timing. And we couldn't afford it. I mean, we were freaking out. We had no, idea of what was gonna come to us next for solid income, and we were gonna lose our house. So we had to ask my parents if we could move in with them, and I had to get on government assistance to have that baby. Which, talk about humbling, because a few years before that, my husband was playing Major League Baseball, and then here we are, just knocked on our asses, and it's like, nothing that we did really to have that happen. We weren't stupid or crazy with money. It was just so much. It's hard to keep up with that baseball lifestyle, and we ran out of our savings, and that's where we found ourselves living with my parents, a child, a baby on the way, and feeling pretty bad. And some other things happened too, just like you were saying, things just kept hitting, and it was like, when is this gonna end? And we were just praying for something, an opportunity, something to come up. And just around this time, one of my best friends, some of you may know her, Stephanie Chico, she's awesome. We met through baseball. Our husbands played together. So his career had ended too, and she had just had a baby, and I had had our second. And she calls me with this crazy idea. She's like, I'm gonna be a Beachbody coach, you gotta do it with me. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. What's Beachbody? No clue. And I'm thinking, I just had a baby, I not have a Beachbody. I didn't know what she was talking about. And she's like, oh, P90X, and you've heard of that. And I'm like, I thought it was like some computer software or something. Like no. So I was just like, yeah, okay, no thanks. But I mean, she's my best friend, and you know when your best friend's like, no, do this with me. I'm like, okay, I'll be supportive, I'll sign up. And I was the coach that everybody hates because I signed up, I paid the $40 fee. I'm like, I'm not buying that Shakeology, it's really expensive. I mean, we were broke, obviously. And then I'm like, but I'll still do one of the programs. So I bought Brazil Butt Lift off eBay. So it's, well, we kind of joke, like, she never got Success Cup points from me, but I think that I've made it up to her since then. So, but anyway, she was all about it, and I was just like, no, I'm not into that coaching thing. I was just kind of, you know, trying to figure out what the heck my family was going to do. And just maybe a month or two later, we got a call from some friends that we met through baseball, and they offered my husband a job that was amazing. Like, we couldn't turn it down. We knew, you know, we had been praying for something, and we just knew that this was God providing, but the only catch was that it was in Texas. And we were like, well, we really don't want to move to Texas, but, you know, when you're desperate, like, that's what you do. You go where you feel called, and it was really hard. The hardest part wasn't leaving, but just not knowing when we could ever come back, when or how we could ever come back home. And we felt so blessed to be able to go and have this job. I mean, it was an amazing job, but it wasn't home. And anybody that knows us knows that we're so close to our families. And, you know, I had a baby. Like, I didn't want to rip the kids away from the grandparents and not know when we could come back, but we had to do it. So we just trusted. That's what we had to do. And we went. And, you know, meanwhile, Stephanie's like coaching, yay, so happy, and I'm just like, I still cannot even think about that. I told her, like, by the way, I'm gonna go inactive. I'm not doing that. I have to focus on my family. I gotta focus on, you know, this big adjustment in Texas, getting my family settled here. And of course she was fine with it, she knew, but we had been there just a few months, and I remember sitting at my kitchen table. My team hears me tell this story all the time, but I was sitting at my kitchen table and I just was looking around and I'm like, oh, this is not home. Like, how did we get here? Like, this is just, everything was kind of, you know, our whole lives up until that moment was rolling through my mind, like, how did we get here? And when and how am I ever gonna get home? And it just, I felt stuck, like so stuck. Like I said, so thankful for the job that my husband had, but just not the life we wanted to live. You know, we wanted to raise our children with our families around. So it was like, I'm sitting there and it was like something just like, yoo-hoo, remember that coaching thing? Like, you see your friends doing it. I mean, Stephanie seemed like she was like having a blast and having some success. And it was just like, light bulb. I'm like, what do I have to lose? I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna give it everything I have. I mean, why not, you know? So I called Corey, my husband, I said, I'm gonna go into this coaching thing full force, and I'm gonna get us home. And he's like, okay, sweet, you know? And he was working an oil field job, which is pretty brutal, and he got no sleep for like 2 years. I mean, it's an intense job, so I think he was probably like, please God, get us home. Summit actually happened to be a few months later, and I was like, well, I'm obviously getting to Summit because that looks amazing. So I went to Summit as like a shaky emerald coach, and by that I mean my husband was my coach, and I had another girl, and I went to Summit, and of course Summit, everybody knows, game changer, like life-changing, have to get there no matter what type thing. And I heard so many stories, you know, that just lit that fire that I'm like, I can do that. You know, I saw these people and I'm like, she's just a normal person, I can do that too. And I got home and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this huge, crazy goal. I am gonna match my husband's salary 1 year from now. And that was in June. And so I wrote on this little sticky tab, right, like on my bulletin board, right above my computer, match husband's salary June 2014, by June. So told my husband, he's like, I know you can do it. I mean, he's always been like, you can do anything. Like all these crazy ideas, he's like, you got it. I know you can do it. So, and I mean, at that point, he was earning almost 6 figures. So this was kind of a lofty goal, but I'm like, I can do it. And I put it up there to see it and just have it be that constant reminder, which I think is so important. Just kind of focusing on that bigger picture. So from that day on, I just kind of went all in. I came back from Summit. I think I went diamond in like 22 days. It's when Stephanie Davies signed up. She saw that picture of me at Summit and she's like, I gotta do that. Like, that looks so fun. So she came on board. I mean, it's been amazing ever since. And we've, the team has just grown like masses. It's huge. And I'm so proud of them because what we've done in the last couple of years is insane. So we got to June 2014 and not only had I matched his salary, I was starting to out-earn him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, I can do this. So then I was like, well, it's time for another goal. It's time for another huge, scary goal. So I said, all right, I'm going to give myself 1 more year. So June 2015 was the goal to get home, to move back home. I said, you know, I'm going to have saved enough and be earning enough to not only move us home, but so that my husband doesn't even have to worry about a job when he gets home, you know, so we're not having to go home, find a job for him. And so that was last month, and we did it. I moved my family home. And not only that, but I'm earning more than 3 times what he was earning in Texas, which is insane. Like, I don't even know how. It's just, it's all because of coaching. I mean, it's that switching your mindset to know I can do this, and truly believing in yourself. Because I think that was part of the biggest thing is that, you know, you get this fear and this doubt creeps in and you're like, I can't do it. I don't have what she has, or, you know, she signed up now, and I'm just coming in late, and it's all just BS. I mean, this is for anybody. Like, if I can do this, you can do this. I have nothing that y'all don't have. Like, you guys can do this. It's just, like I said, focusing on that bigger picture, and every day, you know, pushing yourself, showing up every single day. I have an amazing upline, and they have just kind of embedded in our minds, like, you show up every day, there's no days off. You know, I mean, even when you want to not open your Facebook, no, you open it and you show up in your team pages, and you show up on social media, and you're sharing about this opportunity with everybody. And this job can change your life if you let it, so just don't give up. I think that's the biggest thing is, like, if you want this to work, just keep going. Like, don't stop, because it will work. It will work if you push yourself. So,